Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I just want to say how excited I am about this video. So I ordered these molds from Etsy and I haven't even taken them out of the bag yet. I am so excited. They were kind of expensive, but I'm hoping they're going to be worth it. So I ordered 5 molds and then they actually included this one as a gift, which I thought was very awesome because I was looking at this mold too. I cannot wait to do this. I'm very excited about these molds. I'm waiting for them to get here. I think these molds came from Russia. It came with this set of instructions. I'll go ahead and read them to you. So the place I got it was from Etsy, and it's from Family Molds, but they recommend going to familymolds.com. So the care instructions for the mold, it says you can wash the molds in warm water with soap if needed. You can remove dust, glitters, etc. from the outside of the mold using an adhesive tape. Do not touch or pierce the inside glossy surface of the mold with hands or tools because it would damage the surface. Do not use epoxy glue or other aggressive materials. And it says do not leave castings in the mold for longer than 3 to 5 days. It says the ranges from the temperatures are from negative 65 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it goes and talks about what materials can be used in this mold. And it says you can use low temperature melt light metals, plaster, wax, soap, resin, epoxy resin, polymer clay, gypsum, and concrete. It says do not use materials that contain sulfur. If you're unsure, put it on the back and see what happens. Do not use molds with epoxy glue and other aggressive materials. The green and blue silicone molds, which these are green, are not food safe. And it says please contact them for any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and open one of these. They look shiny, which is really nice. They were all individually wrapped. I don't need to keep them individually wrapped, so I'm just going to break this open. So the molds have a really shiny inside. I am hoping that I won't have to polish these. Which would be really nice if I didn't have to polish them. There you go, you can see how shiny it is. The only thing I will say is I didn't realize it had this little, I guess, burr, a pendant or whatever, if you want to put that on a string, make a hole in it. I didn't realize it had that. I kind of wish it didn't have that, but that's no big deal. I can just fill that in with resin. I'm going to go ahead and take these out of the packaging. So I went ahead and took these out of the packages. And they're really nice. So I noticed that 2 of them have these little bumps in them, which again, I didn't really want, but that's no big deal. I'm sure I can cover that up or fill it in with epoxy. I think these molds look really nice, and I'm excited to use them. You'll notice if you order them, they're heavy and they're thick. So the distance between the bottom of this is thick. It's not thin like some of these are. So it has a thick distance between there, nice and thick. Some molds I've ordered are pretty light. My camera keeps going in and out of focus, not really sure why. So for today I'm going to be using the Unicorn Art Resin, and it's clear, and this resin takes 48 hours to dry. I'm going to be using these iridescent powders I have today, as well as this. This is the main powder I'm going to use. And this is just a pearl pigment I got. I'm going to use this as the main one and then add a few of these in separate cups just to give them a different tint. What it's going to look like. Now these are not polished yet because I used different molds. I was just testing it out. So these aren't polished yet, but this is what I'm going to do. You'll notice I have some big chunks in here, so I have to make sure it's mixed up really well. It's kind of what it looks like when it's shiny in the back. And these have red tint and a blue tint to them, and this was just an experiment. I like the way these turned out, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. And it kind of gives a moonstone effect, which I think would be really nice for some cabochons. So let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead now and split the resin up into as equal parts as I can get them. And then I'm going to add the different color pigments to these. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure these are stirred up real nice, and I'll do that off camera. So I'm filling up these molds with the different colors. I went ahead and filled this one with the red, this one with the blue, and this one with the green. So like I said, these molds are shiny, which is really nice. So I'm hoping when they come out of the molds, they'll have a high gloss finish. I will also put these molds in the description, the links to where I got them, and then I'll also add the Family Mold website, so you can purchase these if you like them. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in my pressure pot overnight, and then they take 48 hours to cure. So once these are cured, we'll come back and demold them. Alright, it's been a few days. So the molds that I got are from familymolds.com. They're a really nice quality mold. They're thick, which is nice. They're very thick compared to some of the other molds I have. They have a shiny surface on the inside, and they seem really, really high quality. So I have a confession to make. I did take some out of the mold to see how they would turn out. And these are how the ones I did on video turned out. They have a super, super shiny surface, which is really nice. That means I don't have to polish them to get them shiny. They come out like this. I was attempting to do a faux moonstone look. And even though this doesn't look like moonstone, it's still a neat idea. I love the way these turned out. I cannot be more excited about these molds. I highly recommend them. They just turned out perfect. So what I did is put in a different kind of effect. I didn't use the white pearlescent powder. I just used the interference powder instead. So I'm going to go ahead and demold these on camera. I haven't seen what these look like yet. And see how they turned out. I think they have different colors in each one. Pops out really easy. Yeah, that's a neat looking stone. I really enjoyed the way these molds look. I don't know if you can see on camera very well the difference. It kind of has a shimmery effect. It looks really good. Let's see. This one was the gift that they included with the molds I ordered, and it's a faceted mold. Yeah, that's beautiful. I would, from these, just these ones I did, these and these, I would recommend these molds hands down. These are some amazing molds. And the interference powder technique turned out really neat. I think these look very funky. So the only disappointing thing I have is these little bumps here and here. But if I looked at the pictures closer, I would have seen that it was on there. So I didn't. So that was user error, not part of this mold, because it was right there in the pictures. These molds are probably one of the best molds I've ever used. I would highly recommend checking out familymolds.com or their Etsy shop, Family Molds. I will put the link in the description so you guys can take a look. These molds are worth it. I would recommend it. I would recommend them to anybody. At least I know the ones I got turned out great. I would definitely be ordering more. If you guys like this video, please hit the subscribe and like button. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or information. I'll try to answer it as honestly as I can. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.